to be a fundamental problem with Conservatives in this country, because for every fighter, we seem to have dozens of these quislings who don't understand that politics is an adversarial game. With Labor, they're battle-hardened. They've gone through those factional wars. They like the fight. They're good at the fight, whilst Conservatives seem to be better at governing than they are at actually politicking. Yeah,
look, I think what we saw with even the state government in New South Wales, for those that were following it, they thought they were an extension of the bureaucracy. Yeah. They were all, you start hearing them say words like peak body and all these other things. It's very, very difficult to hear as a passionate, committed, strong Liberal who believes that there are certain ideologies that made this country great. We need to really push. We almost have to push against the bureaucracy, against the machine. I mean, we saw with the voice vote, the ACT was 70%. 70%, yes. The whole rest of the country was no. They're so out of step. They're so lost. And just trying to pretend that you're somehow a captain or a part of being captured by that machine, all you're really doing is putting yourself out of business slowly. Australians don't want their Liberal Party to be Teals. They don't want their Liberal Party to be left wing. I think if I was to look at Scott Morrison's political epitaph, it would simply say, if you leave your friends to work with their enemies, you lose your friends and their enemies don't respect you.
100%, 100%.
It's that simple.
So you're telling people go and get involved. How literally can they do that? And how do they present themselves as Conservatives? How do they get in there and get a Conservative voice heard? We saw all the nonsense in the last election, which seemed to be Scott Morrison's fault, of pre-selection chaos in New South Wales in particular. Victoria, Rita will tell you, is a complete write-off. How do you get those Conservatives in there?
Well, I wouldn't want to get anyone in any trouble, but I've got a website that you can go to and register your,
tell us the details. No,
so
let's put it up on the screen. What is it?
Yeah, it's MatthewCamenzuli.com.
MatthewCamenzuli.com.
Yeah, if you go there, you will be able to essentially register yourself and tell us a bit about yourself, and we can help you navigate the silly hoops and loops that you might have to go through in order to get in. Because there is a certain culture in the organisation and it isn't as easy to get through, but if you have a little bit of knowledge and know some of the right people, which I may happen to do, you can certainly get passage in and you can be a part of the change.
Well, this is an important point because we say get involved, join up, but it's not always that simple because there are people putting roadblocks.
So we've got that up on the screen, Matthew. Just check that. You're happy with that? There we go, MatthewCamenzuli.com. So how do you get Conservatives into Rita's ghastly Victorian Liberal Party, for example?
Well, look, I'm a massive fan of Moira Deeming.
Yes, fantastic.
She's not in the Liberal Party.
No, she's not.
She's like you. She's like you. We need Matthew.
She's keen to see change, you see, inside of the Liberal Party. And she's got a lot of friends inside of the organisation too.
Good.
I mean, the best way to get in is probably go and see your most prominent former Liberal and they'll tell you how to do it, right? But the organisation has to stop expelling people. Now, there's an interesting motion that's going to come up on the agenda of the next State Council AGM, State Executive AGM at the end of the month in February. And that is, there's a motion to expel Alex Hawke, which you may or may not know about, and to bring me back into the party. But it's not just
there you
about
go. That's something. We're going to leave it there, but there you go. You've got that as well to contemplate. Libs, get involved with the Liberal and National parties because we need Conservatives out there because Peter Dutton must be the next Prime Minister, in my opinion, to save this country.